everyone. Just been packing for Burning Man up until an hour ago, so I'm kind of freaking the fuck out right now. So seriously, the media that y'all keep talking about doesn't exist. Let's go back 150 years. It's a nice history story. So in the late 19th century, New York City had 400 publications. They were all newspapers at the time because we didn't have internet and Twitter and shit like that. And we didn't really call them journalists back then. They were more like writers who just wanted to write a bunch of bullshit and get it published and get paid by the word. It was really fun because they would all show up at city council meetings and then just kind of make up what happened. So you could have a story about a city council meeting in a New York publication, and one guy would say that a bunch of city council members got in a big fight. Someone else would actually write the boring story, a bunch of dumb stuff that happened in the 19th century, and then there'd be everything in between. It was basically the Onion and Fox News back in those days, because newspapers were all essentially owned by people who were interested in political parties. So they basically got all their money through political parties, and all their stuff was a bunch of political garbage and punditry and opinions, and oh my God, it sounds so familiar, doesn't it? So when you move into the mid-century years, journalism finally became professional, and there were schools where people could learn how to become writers who gave a shit instead of writers who just wanted to write shit. And basically, that's where we got the whole like Watergate thing and Washington Post and all the cool stuff that everyone wanted to go be journalists for. But that wasn't really that normal back then because we were working through all this opinion stuff. And so that actually became the golden age of journalism through a lot of years up until probably the internet, right? And that's because the internet screwed up everything for all the people who own the giant printing presses and the giant broadcasting antennas. And they realized that they could make money through, again, being opinionated and having punditry and like making stuff up all the time and generally having a good time. So I want to just do like a hard segue into my local journalism as a reporter at the Reno Gazette-Journal. We still kind of hold on to like that whole awesome Watergate shit because it's really cool and we all want Pulitzers because it makes a really nice certificate on your office wall. And so, but the thing is, even the media doesn't exist in my own newsroom. We all basically are very different. Anjanette and Jenny Kane are both here today, and we all cover things very differently. We have different ideas of what journalism should be. We get in big fights about it all the time, especially Anjanette and I. We're always throwing shit at each other across the room. It's great. And but we all, at the end of the day, you know, we have this goal of like connecting with all of you assholes in the audience here. And that's what really makes journalism so different is it comes down to, you know, most people ask me like, how do you come up with your story ideas? And I come up with my story ideas by being involved in things like Ignite and like going on social media and hanging out and listening to people and reflecting what you guys think that you want, either based on what stories you read or what stories you don't read. Like I wrote this whole thing about gentrification and you guys keep talking about it, but no one read it. I was like, what the hell? I've spent like 4 days on this. I read 2 books about gentrification. Like I know gentrification really well. And you guys were like, it's fine. I just want to like say everything's gentrification. It's fine. But then I write about like an airplane at Burning Man and like 80,000 people are like, fuck yeah, there's an airplane at Burning Man. And I'm like, okay, so first thing when I get to Burning Man is I'm going to that airplane because that's what you guys want to read about. And so when you think about like all the time I spend on social media, like reading comments and getting involved in conversations and getting involved in like talking to sources all the time and reflecting back and forth, you start to break down the idea of the media, which is actually just plural for medium. How many of you knew that it was plural for medium? 4 people, cool. So there are a lot of, I'll just say it silly, there's a lot of mediums out there, which are become the media. So when you want to criticize the media, you actually have to look around and be like, I hate CNN for always putting the breaking news ticker on stuff because it's not always fucking breaking news, CNN. Sometimes shit just happens. It's gonna be okay. And then you got to think about like, if I'm reading page views and then I'm reading you guys, who really is the media, right? Who's the media? See how the media is disappearing. So I just want you to marinate on that for a second because it turns out that we are all mediums when we can publish anything we want at any moment in time. So the media is actually you. So subscribe to the RGJ, bye.
I love it.